When you move into a new home or somebody moves in next door to you, you never quite know who your neighbors will be. Sometimes you make new friends, but sometimes it becomes a nightmare.
So when they don't pick up after their dog, you know, the ones that don't do that, or they blare their loud music all hours of the night, what do you do? Well, Faye DeMechant is the author of Social Skills for Success, and Thomas Farley is a What Matters Most columnist at the New York Post. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys.
Good to have you here.
See you.
So we got a lot of nightmare neighbor scenarios to get through in just a moment. But before we get to that, you say we should really start with having a conversation. Try to handle things nicely, Faye. Don't be so contentious.
Yeah, it's so important not to act in the moment, first of all. Because when you're listening to a dog barking for hours on end, not acting in the moment is really important. Once you've calmed yourself, it's really great to be able to talk to someone face to face, have a conversation, address the issue, talk about how it affects you, and then resolutions.
All right, let's take that one up, Thomas. The dog next door is outside all night. They leave the dog out barking all night long. How do you handle that situation the first time?
So we've all been there. Oh, I think we might have a dog in the studio.
Yes, we spared no expense.
We've all been there. Where this is a particular problem is maybe somebody's gone during the day and they don't realize the dog is barking all day long.
Yeah.
So you always want to approach the neighbor from the standpoint, you might not be aware of this. I thought you might want to know for the health of your dog. That way you're not backing them into a corner and you're making them feel good. People treat their dogs like they're kids. So you insult the dog, it's like you're insulting a child.
What do you do to that neighbor, though, who says, my dog's going to be outside tonight. It's my property. I'm not going to change it.
Oof, that's a tough question. But I think, addressing it, I love your point about being empathetic about the situation. I know this is a hard situation. Your dog's out barking all night. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm up all night. My children are up all night, and expressing it from that perspective. But offering a little bit of empathy rather than berating or being aggressive about it is really important.
Sometimes it's hard, though, to have that face-to-face conversation. Do you always have to address them that way?
No, not necessarily. And if you're uncomfortable with it, you can also invite someone to join you, because oftentimes that dog is not just affecting you, it's affecting lots of other people in the neighborhood, or in New York City, hundreds of other people. And so, ask someone else to join you. The other thing is a phone call or a letter.
All right, let's say that there's somebody who is blowing the leaves directly on your lawn. How do you handle that? Oh, we love that. Oh, my God. How do we handle this?
Well, this is very passive-aggressive behavior. So the leaves really know no boundaries. So it never fails. You've just raked your lawn, and then it's the neighbor who hasn't done his or her lawn who's got the leaves coming over onto yours. So you see that, or the leaf blower that's going at 5 in the morning. That's another issue, too.
Right.
So I think in a lot of cases, let's face it, good fences make good neighbors. So if this is a
build
real
a fence,
issue,
then?
put up a fence. The leaves are not going to blow over the fence, we'd hope. So I do that, and then there's a certain standpoint where you say there's a little boundary area. There's going to be some leaf crossover. Don't worry about it too much.
And it's so important to be mindful of our own behavior, because there's a great survey out that says that 99% of Americans think that civility is on the decline, but yet 80% of those people thought they were part of the problem. So we have to be mindful of our own behaviors, too.
Very true.
Another common one, Thomas, is there's always one house in the block. They don't mow their lawn. The place looks terrible. They leave the garbage cans out all the time. How do you address that one person?
So I think especially if this is maybe an elderly person who lives there and maybe they're physically not capable or financially not capable, I like the idea of having the whole community pull together to offer to help out. So that way you've gotten a chance for everybody to get to know one another, to work together on a service project, and you're also beautifying the neighborhood.
Okay, what about an eyesore? We all have seen those, the broken down car in the driveway that they refuse to move. What should you do in that situation?
You know what? It's really great to become knowledgeable about laws, too, because there are actually laws in communities that, say you can't have a certain, a weight of a vehicle in your driveway, and become knowledgeable, and then approach the situation again when you're not angry. Address it as the community, and it can be an eyesore for an entire community, not just you.
Petition, have all the neighbors sign.
Yeah,
everybody's ganging up on you. Is that a bad thing to do?
Well, I don't like the idea of having a lot of people come together and confront the person, but worst case scenario, you write a letter. If the person's not willing to address the situation, you write a letter and you ask other people to join in and express concern.
And quickly, Thomas, one we see in the suburbs, but also in urban areas. Dog goes in front of your house or your apartment building, whatever it is. does its business, owner walks away without cleaning it up. What do you do?
I have to say, in New York, people are pretty darn good at this. I'm always impressed by the number. Even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, people are cleaning up after their dogs. That's not true in every city, though. So I would not be afraid to be the one to go up and say something. Having good manners doesn't mean that you're a doormat. So if you see that happening, you need to speak up.
All right, Faye, Thomas, thank you both so much. Good stuff.